Welcome to Sophisticated Motherhood. Somebody has got the hiccups, if you can hear. But I was up last night, nursing somebody in the middle of the night, thinking about what types of things I want to share. I knew I wanted to film a video today, and I was just thinking, like, what would I want to film? What am I excited about when I think about this channel? I love chatting with my friends about being a mom. I have a couple of friends who are pregnant right now, who are becoming first-time moms, and like there's nothing I love more than when they reach out to me and ask questions, just because I love chatting about this stuff. And I was thinking, like, I could just make my coffee in the morning and sit and chit chat like I would with any of my friends. So I think you let me know. Oh, Henry. I'm gonna bounce a little bit. If you're a mom, you get the mom bounce. But I thought I would just chat while we have our coffee, and would love if you had a cup of coffee too. I am making this one a little bit special. I usually don't add milk or cream or anything, but hey, we're filming a video, so I just added a little bit of half and half. That's what I had. And then I have some cinnamon extract I'm tossing in here, just a couple of dots. And I am going to froth that up and add it on top of my coffee, I think with a little bit of cinnamon. So hold on one second. Okay, so that is frothing in there. I don't know if you can hear it, but I thought today what I'd want to chat about is the transition from 1 to 2. I did film a video earlier about what I was doing to prepare for the transition of 1 to 2, but honestly, now that this has happened, I want to do like less of a prepared video and just chat with you like we're friends. I'm gonna grab my coffee and see if Henry wants to go on the playmat, although he's falling asleep. So we can chat about the transition and how it's going and all of the things. Okay, clearly I added a little bit too much there of that frothed milk, but it is delicious. I've never really done that cinnamon extract before, but thought it would be good with a little dash of cinnamon on top, and I think I was right. I have no idea why he is wanting to sleep right now. We do wake windows, so he should be able to be awake for like at least an hour at this point, but we basically just fed him and changed him and he's already sleepy again. So we'll see. But I was thinking about like the initial meeting of the two boys when our older one, Owen, met Henry, our newborn, and that actually went really well. So in the video that I was talking about, I had heard and suggested that you're not holding your infant when the older one comes to meet them. We had him laying in like a DockATot, and we came to greet Owen first, like in our mudroom as he came through the door with his grandparents, and that all went really well. He was so excited to see the baby. He was really excited. He wanted to put his pacifier in his mouth, and that relationship has been flawless through this whole process. And this is just complete personal experience, so I don't know if that's how most people feel, is that the relationship between the siblings isn't typically the issue. I didn't expect that. I expected more issues maybe between the two of them, but he loves on him. It is the sweetest thing. He always wants to, like I said, put his pacifier in. He likes to give him hugs and kisses. The cutest thing at the beginning was whenever Henry was down sleeping somewhere, Owen would say, he says baby Henny, because he can't quite say Henry. He would ask where baby Henny is. And still when he wakes up in the morning, he wants to know where baby Henny is. And it's so adorable. And there has truly been zero issues. The only thing I will say is that sometimes he's really excited. Owen is really excited to share toys with him and will like try and give him a car and is a little bit aggressive or hugs him and squishes him just like a little bit too much. So if anything, there's too much love. The real issue is more like with our toddler and us as parents. I think I've heard that parental preference is just like a toddler thing in general, that toddlers will say, no, I want mommy to do this, or no, I want daddy to do this. But it's really coming out when mommy is feeding baby Henry or daddy is holding baby Henry. That's specifically the moment that he wants mommy or daddy to do something for him and not the other parent. So that has been really interesting to navigate. And for context, he is just about exactly 2 years apart. They are both December babies, so maybe that helps a little bit to understand what we're going through. If you've had a 2-year-old before, I think it's the stage where they say the terrible twos, probably for a reason. We're experiencing some more tantrums, and it really heightened right when we brought Henry home. Don't think that's a coincidence. It's gotten much better. He's about 2 months old now. But the other thing that I've been noticing is that Owen has become really attached to my husband, and that's probably for a few reasons. Hold on, coffee sip. And I think it's probably because he's spending so much more time with my husband. I did hear about this in advance, and it makes a whole lot of sense, especially when you're going from 1 to 2, is that you are going to be split and you're gonna have one parent taking care of one child and the other taking care of the other. Because I am breastfeeding, I end up being with Henry a lot of the time, which is fine. I want to breastfeed. I'm happy that it's working out for us. I don't want to miss a single moment with this cute little guy, but it also has been really difficult for me emotionally and mentally spending less time with my toddler, because I've been used to being with him 24/7. He does go to daycare, so not when he's at school, but other than that, like, I would be a part of everything he's doing. I would be the one to help him get his food ready and wipe his face off when he was done eating. And there were like all these things that I would do with him. I was always there for his bedtime routine, and now I just can't always do those things. And I know people say that the parents kind of come back together, but I really miss that family unit. The 3 of us did absolutely everything together. And not only do I miss the family unit, but I also just miss spending time with our toddler, spending time with Owen. I get kind of jealous. I wish I could clone myself. And speaking of cloning myself, wishing I could clone myself, we had some unexpected things happen, and I didn't really anticipate that. I don't know how I could have, but Owen had to have surgery actually twice since Henry's been born. One of them was scheduled, and the other one we had to take a trip to the ER and stuff, and everything is just slightly, or I would say more than slightly, more complicated when you add a second child, especially when you add a newborn, especially when you are breastfeeding. Both times he was in the hospital, he had to stay overnight, and I had to go home and be with Henry so I could nurse him and take care of him overnight. And that means I couldn't be with Owen in the hospital. My heart broke in half. Like I said, wanted to clone myself. I wanted to be in 2 places at once. I wanted to be there for both of my kids. And when you have more than one, you're only one person, and sometimes that means that you can't be there for both kids at the same time. And we obviously had the extreme situation of one child being in the hospital. Sometimes it's like, oh, you can't be there for bath time, which, as I said, has also been tugging at my heartstrings. But when your kid is going through something where, you know, like, he was so distraught, rightfully so, in the hospital. Like, imagine a 2-year-old with an IV in. They clearly do not want the IV. All of that stuff. It was just really difficult, and I know it put a lot of strain on my husband to be the only one there taking care of him when he was really upset. So that was unexpected, but the concept of just like having 2 and having a newborn on top of your normal toddler stuff, making everything just a little bit, or more than a little bit, more difficult, is something I didn't totally think through. Just the logistics of things. We did already take a trip when he was 1 month old. I think he was 5 weeks when we first took a trip, and we went on a plane and we flew with him. And surprisingly, the 2 of them did awesome. We were even delayed on a plane. We had multiple delays, canceled flights. It was a nightmare. But we had a delay when we were already boarded on the plane. So we had a 5-week-old and a 2-year-old, and we were stuck in the plane for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours before we took off after being delayed significantly. And the two of them were awesome. He just like nursed and slept. He did cry a little bit for a moment, and Owen ate snacks, and they were awesome. The logistics that were more difficult was the gear going through the airport. So figuring out, we have a Doona, that car seat that converts to a stroller and a car seat. So we brought that for Henry, and then we also had a travel stroller for Owen that can fit in the overhead compartment. But each of us were pushing something. Then we had our carry-ons, and like if Owen wanted to get out of the stroller and walk or whatever was going on, one of us had to go to the bathroom. Just logistics, much more difficult with two logistics wise. Leaving the house on a daily basis, if I'm bringing both of them with me, I have to pack my diaper bag differently than I did before. I was just reaching the stage of, I would bring like a little belt bag or crossbody bag, fanny pack, whatever, with one diaper, a mini pack of wipes, and like Kleenex, my car keys, sunglasses, and my phone, and I would leave the house. Now it's like, you know, multiple changes of outfits for him, diapers for both kids, wipes, like a changing, all the newborn stuff again, plus stuff for Owen, toys, snacks, he needs a water cup. I like am a pack mule at this point. The other logistics that I struggled with when I had one was I really had trouble leaving the house because I was kind of stressed out about, well, when's the next time they're gonna have to eat? I'd rather not be stuck somewhere where it's difficult to feed them. You can always breastfeed in the car or in public. I'm totally fine with that, but sometimes there's not a place to sit down necessarily. So I like to, when I can, try and feed the baby before I leave the house so they're fed and I have like at least 2 hours at the bare minimum before they need to eat again. And trying to line up that schedule with Owen's schedule, and it's like if he woke up from a nap but it's still another hour before Henry needs to eat, do we then get in the car and go, or do we wait for Henry? I don't know. That part I kind of struggle with, as well as weird things I didn't think about. Okay, so the first time I took the two of them together alone, usually Jim like loads Owen up and I load Henry up, and that's just kind of the way we've been dividing it. Like Henry's on my side of the car and Owen's on his side. I don't know. I've just been doing more stuff for Henry, and Jim's been doing more stuff for our toddler Owen. And the first time I took the two of them, I honestly still don't know the answer to this question. So maybe let me know if you have a reason or a way that you do it. But I went to load the two of them up in the car and was in a parking lot. And I was like, who do you put in the car first? Do I load Owen up and have the stroller like doing a car seat thing sitting next to me? Or do I have Owen stand there patiently next to me while I load Henry up and then walk around the car with Owen? I'm kind of thinking I load Owen up first, because so he's like restrained. Henry's not going to go anywhere, but if I'm loading Henry up and I look away and Owen like runs into the street, that's making me think maybe you do the infant first. I don't know. Please help me. I haven't gotten a lot of places with just me and the two of them, and that is for a reason. Number one, like during the weekdays, Owen is still at school and I'm just with Henry alone. So when I run errands, I just have one. And then on the weekends, my husband is usually with us. The other reason is, frankly, I'm scared. I'm actually scared of taking the two of them out alone together. And I know I shouldn't be. And it was one of my goals for the beginning of the year. When I set my goals for the year, for the first quarter, I wanted to be confident in taking the two kids alone. And I'm not there. I'm just not. I worry about what I talked about earlier. I worry about tantrums. Like it's all these what ifs in my head. What if Owen has just like a very normal 2-year-old tantrum, or not even a tantrum. Like I did take the two of them to the park the other day, and I was so stressed out when I was there because Henry was in his stroller sleeping, and Owen wanted to run around and play, and there were a bunch of other people at the park. So I wanted to be able to stay with Henry because I don't want to be more than a foot away from him when there are other people at the park. I don't want to he needs to be like within arm's reach. And Owen is at the stage where he wants me to do everything with him. He wants me to go down the slide with him. He wants me to run around with him, but I can't leave Henry. He's asleep. And I didn't want to unbuckle him and like carry around a sleeping baby going down slides with Owen. And I couldn't leave Henry, and Owen really wanted me to be there with him. That was really difficult. On the walk back, Owen walked there. He has this cute little lawnmower, and he pushed the lawnmower there, and I, again, pushed the stroller with Henry, and it was just his Duna, so like you can't have a second kid in there. And Owen wanted me to carry him the rest of the way home. I couldn't carry him and push a stroller and his lawnmower that he brought with him. And luckily I was able to reason with him, but I was running the scenario in my head. Like, what if he got really upset and just decided to cry and sit there, which toddlers do? Luckily he didn't, but I worry about those things. I was less worried because we were just kind of like outside, but if I'm in a store and he has a tantrum, or when I'm even at home, just the two of them, I've had that situation a few times when I'm breastfeeding, you're stuck. There's not much you can do. Owen was eating oatmeal for breakfast, and I was sitting right next to him feeding Henry, and he ran out of oatmeal and wanted more oatmeal. And I was like, okay, great. I'm in the middle of feeding Henry. Owen wants more oatmeal. I have to like heat up the oatmeal, mix it, make it, all of that. And I can't do that right now. And my 2-year-old just needs to understand patience, which 2-year-olds don't necessarily understand. Again, the situation was okay. I guess that's kind of the moral of the story, is that everything's been okay and we work through it, and it's okay if there are some tears sometimes. It's all about learning the lessons. I don't know. It's just kind of a work in progress, and I thought I'd share my honest feelings and what's been going on with the transition from 1 to 2, just in case you were curious, or you might be going through that transition, or maybe you're reminiscing and remembering that transition that you went through yourself. I would love to continue these coffee chats, although I barely had any of my coffee because I was so busy chatting. I'm thinking maybe like once a month, maybe more often, but let me know if there's a topic you want to chat about. Another one I was thinking about last night was, as I start to approach returning to work, that might be a topic. Another one I'm thinking about is just kind of like postpartum for me and how that's going. But if you have a topic or thoughts on whether you like these casual coffee chats, let me know. I would love to do more of them, and truly appreciate those of you who are here watching and subscribed to this channel, as together we make this motherhood journey sophisticated.